Hey everybody, I'm going to kick off this presentation now. Welcome. My name's Nick Staracek. I'm a game designer, QA specialist, and lighting artist. I'm kind of a bit of everything these days, but I'm a SAE Brisbane Games degree graduate from 2017. So I'm just going to go over a couple of the core projects from my degree that I think hold the most value still today, and kind of just go along my timeline a little bit to explain how I use my degree and how I achieved my dreams and my goals through studying at SAE. So one of the first projects that came to mind when I was putting together these slides was actually from a game jam that I did with some friends during Studio 2, which is about halfway through the degree. We developed a game called Freedom Through a Lens with a team of 3. And as you can see, it was held over March 3rd to March 11th. Freedom Through a Lens was essentially a photography exploration game where you took on the role of a photographic journalist at a peace rally and protest. So what really drew us towards this idea was that in Studio 2, it's all about exploring what you can achieve through game design and just exploring what you can really do with games and the things that you can tell or the topics you can explore. So we made this little first-person photography-based game where you roam around a protest, interview some people, and then tell their story in your report. So the reason that this one still holds a lot of value today is that we actually got a fair bit of publicity from it, which was totally unexpected, but also really rewarding as a student to see that your work is getting recognized everywhere. So there's a few websites that featured our game, including Free Game Planet, Game Jam Curator, Normative, New Progressive Gaming, and then Vice even did a piece on us. So that was really cool to see, and just like a bit of validation really early on in the degree for everyone involved, just to see like games can really, it's a good career choice for us. That takes me to our final project at SAE Brisbane. So this was a pretty big game. There were 10 people on our team, which is almost unheard of for a final project at the time. I was designer and game runner on that one. And we made a cooperative couch co-op puzzle game called Giants. I'll play a quick trailer for you. So yeah, that's a little sneak peek of what Giants was and eventually what it became as an end product. So as I said, Giants was made by a team of 10 over 6 months. So this is our team here, designers, animators, sound, audio students, animation, graphic designers, which is aside from game designers, of course. We all came together and made this couch co-op game that we all really felt passionate about at the time. So there are a few core pillars with this game that we really wanted to hit, and thankfully we did achieve most of them. One of them being that we did set out to make 10 complete levels. We made 7. Again, scope is a thing that you'll hear a lot in your degree if you choose to come to SAE. We wanted to make it as accessible as possible so that anyone could literally play our game. For this, and with our time constraints, we focused on a colorblind friendly color palette for our game so that colorblind folk could play it. And the game ran for roughly 1 hour, which was kind of crazy to us and mind-boggling, just because we didn't ever set out to make a game that was so long, but somehow we achieved it. So Giants was actually featured in Kotaku, which was a bit of a shock as well. So that was pretty cool to see. And it was later awarded the Creative Achievement Award by SAE Brisbane for that, for our faculty year. So here's a little picture of us at the Powerhouse at Brisbane getting the award, and that's most of the team there. And then, yeah, so that was pretty cool to see too at the end of your degree, heading out into the big bad world of game development. So one thing that I really wanted to hit on was that throughout my degree, I always had this fascination with AAA games. And I think a lot of people that come into a games degree do, because that's what they're used to playing. So for me, I had always wanted to work on these big AAA games, and most of them are abroad. There's some that are trickling over into Australia now, but my sights were definitely on moving abroad and jumping onto those projects. So I got my start at Defiant Development in Brisbane. They were one of the bigger indies, or probably most successful indies. They'd been around for about 9 years at the time. So my credits there were Hand of Fate 2, which was the sequel to their pretty successful game Hand of Fate, the Endless Mode DLC for that game, and then the modding toolkit for that game. Again, slowly you'll see that the team size and the studio size that I trickle into tends to get a lot bigger and bigger as I'm striving for that AAA goal. So Defiant, probably most notable for Ski Safari back in the day of iOS games and mobile games when they were really big around Fruit Ninja time. Hand of Fate, as I said, and I worked on Hand of Fate too. So here's a brief trailer.
I have returned, and together we will craft you into the tool of my vengeance.
So that's a sneak peek of Hand of Fate 2 at the time. So as you can imagine, being fresh out of uni, I actually interned with Defiant as a part of my degree and then was later contracted as a designer. So having the opportunity to intern with that amount of talent and knowledge and such a well-renowned team within the Australian indie scene was crazy to me at the time. And it still is, honestly. Like, they were a great team to work for, and yeah, just really awesome people. So during my time at Defiant, I attended a love, sex, and romance symposium called Heartbeat, which was run by Blushbox. Blushbox was founded part founded by our studio manager at Defiant, Kim Allen. And yeah, I attended this, and it was actually a very exciting weekend where we made a pretty cool game. So we made a cooperative card game about relationship maintenance. There were 4 of us. It was a game jam sort of layout. So we had 48 hours to develop the idea, put together the idea, and then make it playable, of course, and then show it off. So we achieved all that. It was a very relaxing weekend, and it was all just pretty cruisy, honestly. As far as making games go, if it could be like that weekend, I'd opt in for that every time. So yeah, we made this cooperative card game about relationship maintenance. At the time, we had just released it. We had really no big plans for it, but we were like, hey, Free Play's coming up, which is a games festival and awards show down in Melbourne during the International Games Week. And we were like, hey, let's put It's Whatever You Think It Is into that. So we did, and we were nominated for 2 categories and ended up winning one of those categories, which was pretty cool, given that we spent about 48 hours on the game all up and then just sent it through. So we won the Non-Digital Game Award. Here's the trophy and a little Twitter post of Erica at the show accepting the award on our behalf. So that was all really cool as well. Like, it was a time where I just come into Defiant. I trickled off into this into this symposium. We made a game. It was getting awards. There was just it was all moving very quickly and progressing fast. So I kind of figured out that I was really into the art of games, so specifically lighting. So over the last few years, I've been a self-taught lighting artist and just kind of really connected with the community on Twitter, and I have built a lot of friends all around the world, fellow lighting artists, and learned from them. So here's a bit of a timeline of my work from 2018 through to 2020. I like to think that it's gotten a bit better, but definitely as time goes, as you build that network with international game developers and even those at home, you really do pick up a lot from the networking experience and just talking to people about their craft, more so than you will from any book, in my opinion. So yeah, lighting is very much I class it as a hobby, but it's not really a hobby. If I could get paid to do lighting, I would do that. It just so happens that I'm a bit more skilled in other areas, so that's what I go for, because I'm just a little bit better at it and I feel more confident in my ability. So after working at Defiant, 2018 was coming to a close. I decided to pack my bag, sell my car, pretty much get rid of most of my belongings and move to Vancouver to search for that AAA gig. It came pretty quickly. I went over there with no job, but ended up finding a job, so that was great. I started the Coalition Studio, who are a part of Xbox and Microsoft. I was a software test engineer there for the last 2 years. I shipped a lot of products, as you can see, notably Gears 5 and Gears Tactics, and then more recently the Series X and S update for Gears 5 and Gears Tactics, and the Gears 5 Hivebusters DLC. The team size of the Coalition is above 400, and that's just the internal studio. So this is the Coalition. This is what I assimilated into. I'm there. You can see my head. So this was like a dream, right? Like, I'm working on Gears of War, a game that I've played since I can remember, like Gears 2, Gears 3, Gears 4. Here's some pictures taken at E3 when we went to E3. And yeah, the Gears 5 development cycle is probably best labeled as we're a live service game. So we release our content after shipping and going gold through our operational patches, which happen every 3 months or so. So I was fortunate enough to work on the core game, putting that gold, setting it live, and working on 4 core operations with Gears 5, which are listed here. This was one of the latest things I worked on.
Whoa! Now what?
I told you, it's not gonna happen.
Cover fire!
You find what you're looking for.
Yeah. Now we need to kill it.
My squad is the best, so yes, the best we doing it. So let me rep my squad while y'all do it big. This one for my tribe, for my band, for my clan.
So yeah, so that was the trailer for our Gears 5, Gears X update, which was really cool. You know, we brought Batista into the game. He took over the role of Marcus in our campaign. It was primarily performance and optimization, which was all really interesting and very technical, which I love. And yeah, and then shipping Gears Tactics, which was our XCOM Gears of War based game, which was very cool. And just one final trailer. This is the last thing that I worked on at the Coalition before coming back home. This is the Hivebusters DLC coming out this month.
Right. Sorry to be late and all. We survived a horrific condor crash. Fought an endless horde of
having a little bit of internet problems with that one, so I'm just going to skip on through. But basically, the Hive Busters DLC brings through our escape crew and puts them into a single player sort of area of the game. But yeah, that's kind of it, guys.
Monsters from
Thanks for tuning in. Hope you learned some stuff and consider coming and doing a design degree at SAE.